Hello everybody, welcome inside the CrossFit Update Studios. I'm Pat Sherwood, being joined today by a very special guest, Becca Voigt, the only person in the history of the CrossFit Games to compete and qualify as an individual 9 times. Becca, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Pat.
I mean, you're in a class all by yourself. You left everyone else in the dust, the Spiels, the Kalipas. Took second place at the California Regional. It wasn't even close, you know? I mean, you were never in danger. When that dust settled and you heard it over the announcement, second place, Becca Voigt, what was that like?
Oh, it was awesome. I can't say it's a dream come true because it'd be a dream, 8 times over. But it was a very good feeling. I came into that weekend really not expecting to make it to the games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the competition, is getting steeper. It's just been, a long time for me. So I really had a conversation with my coach, my husband, and, said whatever happens this weekend, and I'm not going to let one day really define my career. And so I think maybe that alone, that attitude change and mental shift, really pushed me over the edge. And as soon as day one was over, things started to change. Thought process started to kind of go in a different direction. And I did want to go back to the games. That's never changed. But my expectations were, a little bit more high.
Well, it worked. That mindset that you walked in with obviously paid off. At 35 years old, which is not old, okay, but is older than the general field of competitors, 9 times going to the games, how has it been that you've been able to stay not only relevant, but increase your fitness for so many years in a row in a field where that field is only getting younger and better?
Yeah. I surround myself with people that know a lot more than me.
Smart.
And can motivate me and, motivate me correctly. It's very positive motivation. And so it just keeps me driven. So I feel that really just kind of having the faith in the people around me that they know what they're talking about keeps me going.
How has your approach to training changed over all these years? What are some of your lessons learned you'd give to a new athlete?
So my expectations are even keeled. I've had athletes like Chelsea Grigsby train with me and say, I don't know if I can train with you. I go ham the whole training session and you just kind of like go through it. It was hard for her to kind of digest. And I'm like, listen, I don't need to go to that top gear every single day. As long as I can get there at a certain point in my training session each day, then I'm good.
Over such an incredible career, I'm sure we could talk about moments for an hour, but what are a couple moments from all your experiences at the games that just are imprinted in your mind?
The ones that are most profound are the ones of the relationships that I've established. When I won the Spirit of the Games award, that was probably my most proud moment. Taking third place was very exciting at the games. However, that doesn't hold a candle to the Spirit of the Games award,
That's awesome.
honestly, because I was fortunate to come into CrossFit when it was at the beginning. It was a family. I met a lot of friends in 2008 that I still consider friends today. And I think that's really cool. So in 2014, when I got the Spirit of the Games award, I felt like I really, really portrayed that award well, because that whole weekend and every single year, I like to talk to the athletes. I like to see what's going on. I just hate to see people so upset for such a huge accomplishment. Just making it to the games is such a big deal.
You mentioned aromas. You've been a part of this test of fitness, the CrossFit Games, from way back in a dirt lot to now in a huge stadium out there in Carson. From your perspective, how has that test evolved from aromas to where we find ourselves now?
I mean, obviously the test has to get harder for the sample group that we are trying to determine the fittest. And that's what's happening, if we did 2008 workouts, it'd probably be a nice little warm up for most of us nowadays.
It's like your training
But
session.
and now look at us. We're doing that volume in a single day. And it's just amazing to see how, you guys over there at HQ can evolve with us. That takes a talent too.
Well, you just merely showing up to the games again, you're in a class all by yourself, 9th trip to the games. What's next for Becca Voigt?
I see that eventually, and maybe, in the very future, near future, I will be hanging my hat up for individual, but then I will go team. That's my hope. And then hopefully make it with a team from training yard to the games.
That'd be great.
And then masters. I mean, it's really not that far off, sadly.
Time keeps ticking.
But, in the forefront, we just bought a house. And so we're moving into the house, a couple weeks before the games.
Congratulations. Great timing.
Thank you. I know it's, I'm really good with timing, opening gyms and buying houses. But, it's just, when the games are over this year, it'll be focusing back on the gym and trying to make it better, making it a better experience for our people. Life goes on, and we'll just see. I kind of go with the flow with that stuff.
Well, we're very much looking forward to seeing what's next for you as well. Thank you very much for your time, and we wish you, of course, nothing but the best at the games, Becca.
Thank you so much.
Becca Voigt qualified for the games for a 9th time. Not just an incredible athlete, but also the owner of CrossFit Training Yard, wonderful coach as well. Make sure you stay tuned to see what she can do out there in Carson, California.